executive of the Association of Professional Broadcasters of Nigeria, VONA, Akwa Ibom State chapter, has been inaugurated. The event took place at the Synagogue Plaza, Iboko Street, Uyo. The story is here presented.
Swearing in the executive, Barrister Emeka Iheka admonished them to be committed to God as well as the association, as this could ginger them to uphold the rules, guidelines and regulations of the association. He explained that their success could be determined by their attitude and commitment to the Association of Professional Broadcasters Nigeria Association.
Another very important essence of vote taking is to make sure we bind that small group. They had to take an oath of office. That's part of the oath of office they took, is to make sure that they will
with the Constitution of VONA.
The chairman on the occasion, Mr. Michael Bush, represented by Mr. Cletus Ukpong, encouraged members of the Association of Professional Broadcasters to strive for excellence at all times.
This body, the Association of Professional Broadcasters, is a welcome development. Even if you forget any other thing, don't forget to ask them to help train young broadcasters in Akwa Ibom. And that is a plea he really wants me to present.
Responding, the chief pilot, as they choose to call their chairman, Mrs. Mercy David, traced the existence of the association to June 2010 with 25 members. Mrs. David explained that membership of the body included broadcasters and freelancers, and listed the objectives of the association to include enhancing the welfare of members, promoting excellence, engaging in creative programming, as well as promoting the rights and welfare of women, children, the aged, handicapped, and the less privileged.
Some of us who are not used to the designations may have wondered why we chose such names. But because we operate on the air, so we didn't want to be land-bound or water-bound, so we are air-bound. So we had to choose chief pilot for our president. Pilot 1 is actually the vice president. The air traffic controller is the financial secretary. Our tower controller is the treasurer. The tower controller is the engine room. So we give that to the treasurer. So we just believe that as one, we will actually achieve success. And with the cooperation of our legal friends and others in other professional bodies, I think we will arrive.
See the voices you hear, your desires we bear on the air.
When we return, President Muhammadu Buhari has attended a security meeting with world leaders at the G7 summit held in Germany. We have that story and others for the second segment. Do stay on.
It's up to us, all of us. The safety of our communities is in our hands. The police need our help and support. Boko Haram threatens our lives, our future, our country. But Nigeria belongs to us. God has blessed us with this rich land. Let us protect her as we protect each other. Report any criminal activity. Call these numbers. Your call is anonymous, and it is vitally important. Your support so far has been critical. Continuing it will make all the difference between a Nigeria of the fearful and a Nigeria of the free. Protect each other, for we are not terrorists. We are Nigerians. A message from the State Security Service.
Thank you for your time this morning. Ahead is a story saying that as small groups and associations identify and felicitate with Governor Udom Emmanuel, the state branch of the Nigerian Medical Association has joined in congratulating the governor on his selection and assumption of duties. The message, jointly signed by the chairman Dr. Augustine Vincent Moore and Secretary Dr. Niekan Imo Peter. The NMA expresses hope that Governor Udomi Manuel will bring his wealth of experience to bear in governing Akwa Ibom State. The message explains that the state branch of the Nigerian Medical Association believes that the new administration will give the people of the state good health and good wealth, as well as expand the frontiers of healthcare delivery system in Akwa Ibom State. The message appeals to Governor Udomi Manuel to partner with the Nigerian Medical Association to achieve greater progress in the health sector of the state's economy, and wishes the governor God's blessings and guidance as he pilots the affairs of the state. President Muhammadu Buhari has attended a security meeting with world leaders at the G7 summit held in Germany. Turkish AK Party has lost the majority seats for the first time in 13 years in the country's general election. This and more in our foreign news segment with Messi.
President Muhammadu Buhari has, on invitation, attended the G7 summit held in Germany. According to the presidential spokesman, Mr. Garba Shehu, the president had, before the summit, used every opportunity, mostly through phone calls, with some world leaders to discuss Nigeria's economic challenges, combating corruption, the threat posed by Boko Haram, among other issues. At the summit, President Buhari held bilateral talks with the summit's host, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, French President François Hollande, Prime Minister of Japan Shinzo Abe, World Bank President Jim Yong Kim, among others. The threats posed by jihadist terror groups like Boko Haram and Islamic State had been top on the agenda of the summit. Leaders who joined the summit on invitation include Iraqi Prime Minister, Tunisian President Beji Caid Essebsi, to discuss the threats posed by Islamic State in their countries, as well as the President of Liberia, Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who was invited to discuss ways to combat the deadly Ebola disease. The G7 summit was attended by President Barack Obama of the United States, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom David Cameron, leaders of France, Japan, Italy, Canada, with the host, German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Climate change and the threats posed by terrorism were top on the agenda of the summit, with Chancellor Merkel pressing the G7 partners to sign up to reducing gas emissions. A united front against global security threats from jihadist insurgencies was presented. Russia's sanction for taking over Ukraine's Crimea is to be strengthened. Improvable Ebola healthcare systems and a €100 billion climatic fund have been proposed. United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and World Bank President Jim Yong Kim were on hand to brief leaders on global programs to combat poverty and diseases. General elections are over, with the ruling party, AKP, emerging as the clear winner despite the downturn in number of seats at the parliament. Inclusive election results, one party cannot govern alone. The AKP will now have to form a coalition government, but no party has indicated willingness to join forces. Pro-Kurdish Democratic Party, HDP, have already ruled out a coalition with the ruling party. It is the first time in 13 years that the ruling party, AKP, has lost its majority in a general election. In South Korea, the death toll of the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, MERS, has risen to 6. 87 people have been tested positive, with all infections being traced to hospitals. About 2,300 people are under quarantine. Many schools have been closed. Hong Kong has already warned its citizens not to visit South Korea unless when absolutely necessary. The MERS outbreak has infected about 110 globally, causing 400 deaths. South African Paralympic star Oscar Pistorius, who was given a 5-year jail term in 2014 for the couple murder of his girlfriend Riva Steenkamp, on August 21st. The release has provoked angry reaction from the parents of the deceased, whom shot on February 14, 2013, as they say the time Pistorius has served is not enough for taking a life. Under South African law, Oscar Pistorius is however eligible for release under correctional supervision, having served a sixth of his sentence.
That's a package this morning. We'd like to let you know that you can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45Uyo or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And here are the top stories of the bulletin. The Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources has bidden its budget past Commissioner Mr. Godwin Afangide farewell. Former Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development Hakone Yayi has opened a 5-day free medical program in Ikono. Also this morning, Association of Professional Broadcasters of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State chapter, has been inaugurated with an 8-member executive. We'll bring you more news on this channel at 12 and 8 tonight. Thank you for watching and have a great day.